Sunrise on Salt TV, another blissful moment on television.
We're going to inform you, we are going to educate you, and of course we are going to entertain you, and that is what we are doing. Okay, we are good Nigerians, but we'll make promises, we'll try as much as possible to fulfilling them. So right about now is our talking point segment of Sunrise on Salt TV. So join us as we welcome into the studios of Sunrise on Salt TV Barrister Nnono Sunday Oguru, who is the principal, Big Bed Chambers at Abakaliki. So you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Welcome too.
Okay, so when you see a barrister like this, a senior barrister that like this, you know that we should be discussing legal issues, and what we're discussing today is search warrants. When we talk about search warrants, barrister, what are we actually talking about?
Well, when we talk about search warrant, we look at, we talk about a binding document, a binding legal document issued by a constituted authority, particularly head of a court, called the magistrate or justice of peace, issued for a purpose of searching a particular premises suspected to have been used to commit an offense, or wherein as an item suspected to have been stolen is suspected to have been kept. And the purpose of recovering of that particular missing item or object or property, a police makes an order, makes application to court, requesting an approval that certain premises being suspected to be a scene wherein an object is seen is suspected to have been kept, be allowed to search for the purpose of recovering the suspected stolen item. That is what we call search warrant. Without that authority given to you by a court or justice of peace, you cannot have the right to move into an apartment owned by any person or move or search any property of his or bag or car or anything that is suspected to have been used to commit the alleged crime. If you so do, the person has right to challenge you, and when such right is challenged, the person will be talking about you having infringed on his or her right as protected by, as provided by Section 37, right of privacy.
Okay, yes. Sir. So you're talking about, I mean, they don't have a right to search someone, I mean, without the search warrant.
Yes.
Are there no grounds for warranted this search?
Well, there are grounds upon which an individual could be searched or anybody could be searched. Okay. And police will always rely on Section 60 of Criminal Justice Public Order 1994. That section of the law allows you, when a person is reasonably suspected to have committed a crime, or when a crime is being suspected to be committed, or in a public place, and one is anticipated that such a place, people are not entitled to move to such place with any ammunition, and you suspect that some persons that could come into that public gathering may move into such person, into that arena, for the purpose of unleashing a serious terror in that public place. Then, by virtue of that section, police or any other authority, security agencies would now fall on that very law and now conduct a search on any person or group of persons before you move into such arena. But, in other words, most of the time, by virtue of Section 149 sub 3 of Administrative or Justice Law or Act in Nigeria, which came into force in 2015, it is only a woman that could search women. You do not, as a man, conduct a search on a woman, because the possibility of that person or that woman saying that you may have in one way inadvertently touched her private parts, in one way or the other in the course of the security aspect is also high. So as such, it is now incumbent on the security officers to be sure that in such gathering that men, security men, both women and men are there, so that men could search men and women could search women, to avoid anybody saying you have not done this, you have done this very way with some ulterior motive and you have violated my rights. Yeah. These are the things. Go ahead.
Okay, now what are your rights if police searched you illegally? What are your your rights if you are searched by the police without warrant?
A common example is when when EBBC invaded the house and premises of one of the Supreme Court judges. That is Honorable Justice Odile, retired. You know, when they invaded her premises without search warrant, searched her premises, purport to have done or recovered anything and the rest of them. And they were at the tail end, they were challenged, and it was discovered that these people invaded into her premises without proper procedure, because the Administration of Criminal Justice Act, Section 43 to Section 59, gave elusive procedures on what should be done. If you are to search a premise of anybody suspected to have committed a crime, you must first of all make application to court. That application must be attached with affidavit evidence, showing clear facts that these are the reasons, this person is a suspect, these are what we suspect him to have committed, and as such we are asking court to empower us to go to her house or go to his house or his premise and search for the purpose of recovering these items that are suspected to have been stolen by him or her or by his cohorts and are kept in her custody. By so doing, you be authorized. If you get that order, that is search warrant, and go on to execute that very search, there are also procedures involved. One, there must be witnesses. At least two persons must be a witness to the alleged suspect, to witness and say, yes, we were here when this search was executed. And the arresting officer or the searching officer may also have to go with his own witness. At the tail end of the search, the witnesses must sign. They must sign as witnesses to that document showing, yes, we have searched this very house on so time, on so date, and so things were suspected to be stolen item recovered. Or nothing incriminating is recovered from the person's house at the end of that research, and those people will now sign as witnesses. If you follow that procedure, nobody can come to challenge you to have searched his or herself wrongly and begin to talk about breach of his own or her own fundamental human right. But if you dabble into it, it becomes a serious issue. Generally, that somebody does not get us misunderstood. Generally, the issue of police stop and search does not have legal backing. Generally. But there are provisos provided that before you are stopped by the police as you are moving on the road and you are searched, the police must have first of all have reasonable suspicion that you are suspected to have maybe you are going along the road, the public road, with any unlawful object which you ought not to go about with. And this is the reason why most often you cannot ordinarily, for instance, I am going by the roadside, it is hard for a police officer to see you and look at you because their demeanor, your appearance depicts so many things. And that's why most of the time the policemen look at you, psychologically, they look at you and your appearance would go along with to sense danger on who you are, and they say, park well. You have seen so many occasions where you are going by, you pass policemen, they didn't stop you. But you see other persons, they say, park well, park well. Those are parking you well because they have looked at you and they are suspecting that you appear you appear like a criminal. Okay. And as such, the tendency of saying, okay, open your boot. Because as a Nigerian, where I most often say, where you are right, start, is where another person's right stop. Yes, police do not have right to stop you and search you anyhow. You don't have the legal. But you do not have right, you as an individual, to move around the street with gun, to move around the city with incriminating objects. So as such, if and only police suspects you, they fall back to this section 60 of this Public Order Act to say, okay, we are suspecting you, and as such, allow us to know who you are. Open your boot. Let us check. In the course of so doing, you have seen so many cases where police recover so many dangerous weapons in the car of so many persons, including human heads. Nigeria is a place, for instance, the insecurity we have today in our society is a serious threat to the growth of this very country. So as such, if anybody is not saying, police should not for any reason stop people and search them, bros, you see the level of criminality going on, killings and the rest of them, even all these bandits moving around with guns and the rest of them. How do we sanitize our system? How do we sanitize our society? You don't see that you have given license to these criminals to go on unleashing creating problems and killing people along the street, stealing anyhow. So all these things are the issues. Generally, police do not have right to stop you and search you, but you do not also have right to keep moving along the street with guns, with objects that are so incriminating.
Definitely.
Yes.
Okay, Barrister. Yes, you've made us understand that police do not have the legal right to stop you and search you.
Yes.
If I'm right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Now, how about when you are stopped?
Yes.
I mean, I've seen some cases there on social media everywhere. You've seen viral videos of police, stopping people, and then they will ask to search your phone. And at times, those people refuse. Do they have rights to
That is the issue we are saying. The issue of police stopping you and asking you, give me my phone, your phone, go through your phone, go to your private chats, go through your WhatsApp group, and the rest of them, those things are illegal. Yes, they violate Section 37 of the Constitution, which is right to privacy. These are places you store your information and the rest of them, which you wouldn't like anybody to just know about it. So police demanding and insisting that you give him your phone and the rest of them, search it, and it is wrong. Except where you are being suspected reasonably to have involved in criminalities that connect with issues of Yahoo and the rest of them, and you are being suspected. Yes, upon being arrested, police has right to demand that since this phone is being suspected to have been used to commit that very crime, that we look at your phone and know whether actually within such time that this offense was allegedly committed, whether such phone was used to make such dealings or your calls and the rest of them. That's why most often you don't see police to have rights to track your phone, to now demand for your call logs, to know what were the conversations you had with social persons within social time limit, within the time that this offense was allegedly committed. If and only if that there are some information or conversations that you made through that very phone that are now seen to have connected to the person that allegedly that said, yes, I was defrauded, or I was threatened, or I was done this, I was done that using that very particular phone, automatically that becomes a very good case against you and good case for the police. That is the issue. So police do not have right to just wake up and look at you. For instance, I'm going to court. Police will stop you and say, give me my phone. For what? What are you doing with my phone? But most of the times, the way our children these days appear, your appearance and the rest of them go along with to depict your character. And most of you see most of the policemen, they see you along the road, looking at your appearance, how haggard you look like, and they say, this man, I don't understand. What are you doing for a living? And you don't have any place of abode. Automatically, police would say, okay, let's go to our station, let us know you. All these things, police are doing those things to make sure that our society is in peace. Because I tell you, without the presence of police in our society, in Nigeria, the level of criminality will multiply in millionfold. Within just withdraw policemen within 1 hour, within 30 seconds in Nigeria. You know what will happen. Yes. Every good number of Nigerians are full of evils, criminals. I don't understand why somebody will wake up in his everyday, his life, and what he's thinking about. He does not think of how to make a living. What he's thinking is how to do and unleash a strong terror against another person to disarm you and extort you or get rid of you of whatever you have.
Okay.
We are busy on the ground.
Now, what
Big
happens if
black
a
ones
policeman
with
search the
shiny
premises
bodies
in error
and
and maybe there are
little drastic
damages?
quick
Can
hands.
the owner of the premises press charges?
Can you know what we
If
feel?
any
The
policeman
judgment of
searches
God,
somebody
while
a
drastic
anybody in error, is an offense against that. The procedure as advocated by Criminal Justice Act is that you make application, mention the particular premise you want to search, the number of the building, and the supposed owner of that building, and the person you are looking for. If you are
by your mind, and truthfulness is seen in all your exit.
and the occupant of that room whom you are looking for, you don't wake up and come to different place.
Only
like
lest they
EBBC,
should suffer
and you are
persecution.
looking for a director. You go to his office. You don't come to a director and start looking for other staff that you never mention his name. But if you now say issue of conspiracy involving the staff, the entire
and
staff
yet
of this very
perfect among
establishment, then
models.
police would have right to
Kino
now
had
start
the
from
creak
first room
of
and
the
search
law
every
when
room.
Joanna
And be sure
took
that whatever they are
Petito
looking for
out
is
of
seen
his
for other
hanging
eyes.
box
So
and
if in the course
cleaned
of
him
studying, police
and
cannot move and start
Hamokli
searching.
him
So if they go
in
to
her
search
shawl
a place that
in
was
a
not
loop
approved of
that
them,
pressed
the
him
violation.
close
That
to
person
her
has right
breast.
to go to court and say
Kino
my
could
house was
see
invaded
these
and
things
my
with
privacy was my private right was violated, all my rights violated, as such damages have been incurred, and to that extent I demand an apology from them. I demand a certain amount of money as compensation for those damages done on you. So it is an issue. So nobody has right to go to somebody's house indiscriminately and start searching. No. The only exception is where police sees you along the road in a public place and you are being suspected reasonably. Reasonably. You not just look at me as searching me. There must be reasonable suspicion that yes, this person, from all I look at, the way he looked like, the way I see him, he appears to be a face that has been published some time ago as a wanted person, and I'm looking at him. He resembles that person that was posted somewhere. With this reasonable suspicion, they can stop you and demand, please, may we know you, sir? In a very polite manner, please, may we know you, sir? Can you tell us who you are? All these things are the issues. Police cannot just stop you and dabble into you and say, no. They first of all use a very humble and polite way to find out who you are and the rest of them. And in so doing, if you're unable to explain yourself to them and the rest of them, that is the issue. And you can see there are so many occasions where by such stopping, police have arrested uncountable criminals.
All right. Barrister, about searching an address in error. You know, there was an incident that happened sometime last year, around August last year. The one, Dorothy Bancho.
Yes.
Yes. So she alleged that some EFCC operatives forcefully entered her house to search her house. So according to her, that she was not informed about such entrance, and she went through panic. I mean, the way she narrated the whole thing, it means that probably it was done without search warrants.
What we had said here is very, very clear. Yeah. Police do not have any obligation to inform you that we are coming to search your house.
Okay.
Because by so doing, automatically whatever they want to achieve must have been defeated. Because I would have not seen any good Nigerian, any Nigerian one. I have not seen one. That police tells, we are conducting a search over you. And there's an allegation against you that you have some guns in your place and your house, and we are coming on 20th of December to search you. Or we are coming to search your house. And the person will now wait and keep those things waiting for the police to recover. It is impossible. What is the legal duty on the police is make application to court, get approval from court saying, so person is being suspected of social crime, and we want to go to his house and know whether those things he's talked about that is in his house or her house are there. They cannot move. Approval will be given by a court or just a peace, and the person goes. So And if you go, follow the procedures. As you get to the person's house, get the person, we are so dictating from so command. There is a report against you saying that so thing happened. And as such, we are here to execute a search in your premises to know whether it is true or false. Then, the procedure again is that before you move into that person's apartment or house or room, you subject yourself to the person to search you. Please, look at me, search me, and know whether there is anything incriminating in my planted on my on me. The essence of so doing is to avert the possibility of that person coming to search you, to incriminate you by planting any unwanted object in your house, and thereafter recover same to say it is what you are looking for. Because there are still occasions where some people can plant an incriminating object in the house or premises of the suspected criminal, when that person may not have actually committed such offense. So that is why the law makes all these provisions. Our laws are there, and it gives you opportunity for those things and provides for how they should be done. It is only when it is done wrongly that people now get angry and say, no, you do not have right to do it this very way. You would have done it this very way. So nobody would have challenged a police officer that had not followed the right process, and after searching the gives you room, you sign, and whatever that it was recovered, you see it. You do not have right to say, you go to say fundamental human rights. Well, you can't get anyone. But only when your premises is searched without approval. That is when you can then go to court and challenge that person.
Okay, now, but do you have rights to ask the police to return the item taken from your premises during a search?
No policeman can take any item from your place that is not suspected to be stolen. If the police officer comes to this environment for this studio for instance, and I am the owner of the properties here, and any of these properties is being suspected to have been stolen, police will ask you, show us the receipt of this very fan. Show us the receipt of this television. Show us the receipt of this and the rest of them. If you are unable to provide the receipt for those properties, that is to say there is a serious, reasonable suspicion that you must have stolen any of those items. Then they can take it. But if you are able to thereafter furnish them with evidence of ownership of those properties, so that have been stolen, the right of return becomes obvious. They give you back your properties and you go. But if and only if you cannot substantiate ownership, prove, automatically that property becomes confiscated and remain in police custody until maybe in one way or the other at any point in time, if nobody comes to claim it, it will be sold auction.
Okay, thank you so much for that clarification. Because of time, we'll just take this one last question. On what ground is force allowed or used during a search warrant, when you're enforcing a search warrant?
You're not applying any force. No need. Which force?
No, because we have seen a case in May 2022. I don't know. Okay, that was not. I don't think that was a search. I mean, during the Rochas Okorocha incident, I mean, they were trying to break through.
That was issue of arrest.
Yes.
Because if we are talking about warrant of arrest,
yes,
it's different from search warrant.
Search warrant.
Maybe on another day we can talk about warrant of arrest.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Our time is fast spent, Barrister. You spoke extensively on this search warrant. We'll definitely invite you again. Maybe we'll talk about warrant of arrest. I just hope that you're able to learn a thing or two from what Barrister has been saying. So before we let you go, finally, can we have your last word on the program for today?
Well, I encourage every Nigerian to run away from criminality. All of us owe duty to this country to make this country sanitized. We have to give support to our police to ensure that our lives and properties are effectively protected. Nobody has monolithic of rights. Where your rights stop is where another person starts. So respect yourself so that our law enforcement agencies will respect you. Thank you very much.
Respect yourself so that the law enforcement agencies will also respect you. Thank you so much, Barrister Onono Sunday Oguru, Principal Bid Chambers, Abakaliki, for sharing your wealth of experience with us this morning. We'll definitely invite you again, hopefully. And I know that the people cannot wait to have you again on the show. So at this point, we want to take a quick pause so that we'll move in.